The Philippines' first and leading crypto exchange, coins.ph. 60 cryptocurrencies to trade, like Bitcoin, USDT, and more. Enjoy low fees, favorable rates, and a smooth cash in and out experience. Download coins.ph now.
All right. Good evening, COINMUNITY, and welcome back to another coins.ph live stream. Tonight, we are going to be having a discussion on stablecoins and the impact that stablecoins can have on the Philippine industry. Tonight, I'll be joined by three very resourceful guests. First would be Devere Bryan, the General Manager of First Digital, Ralph Idio, our Business Development Director at coins.ph, and of course, none other than esteemed Coach Miranda Miner from the Global Miranda Miner Group. I'm very excited to be able to have a very insightful discussion with all of our guests tonight as we discuss the impact that stablecoins can have on our local industry here in Philippine crypto. So to begin our show, I will be, bringing up on stage later, one by one, our guests for tonight, and they will be doing a round of presentations. And after their presentations, we will be having a short Q&A at the end of our session on stable coins such as some FDUSD. So without further ado, I would like to bring up on stage Devere. Devere, how are you doing tonight? GM, and how are you doing with the markets doing so well right now?
Thanks, Jaffa. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. You're right. It's been a real bonza weekend for crypto over this past weekend, but obviously over the last week or so, the bull run, as they say, seems to have started. So long may it last. Really genuinely excited to be here amongst this audience. The Philippines has a special place in my heart, and we'll get into that in a moment. But as you did a great introduction there around me, I'm the GM at First Digital. I'm the Group General Manager. I'm also the person that's been given responsibility to look after all of our commercial growth. That includes expansion and distribution geographically. I'm based in Hong Kong. One of the amazing things about Hong Kong, I've been here for 20 years, and if you live in Hong Kong for as long as I have, you know that the Filipino community is one of the pillars of the community in Hong Kong, and it's been a community that I've worked with my entire career, through the early days of telco, helping distribute calling cards with scratchback pins, allowing people to speak to people like Coach Miranda, right through micropayments, all the way through the fintech infrastructure kind of digital transformation journey that happened, right the way through to the first remittances out of Hong Kong into the Philippines were part of a project I worked on back in 2016, 17, 18. So finding myself in the seat right now, helping deliver a stablecoin for the community is something I'm very proud of. I just mentioned that there's 200,000 Filipinos here, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to partner with coins.ph. Today, we're going to dive into FDUSD, which is the stablecoin that's issued by my company, First Digital. We're very proud of that. We're very proud of the achievements that it's made, and we're ready to really kind of take it global. One of the key achievements that First Digital has seen through the success of FDUSD has been the fact that FDUSD was the fastest stablecoin in history to reach $1 billion market capitalization, and at its peak was over 4.5 billion. Now we're sitting around about 3 billion, and we're looking to take as much market share as possible, especially in the Southeast Asia region, where we've got great communities that are adopting crypto faster than other places in the world. I think that being Asia-based is something that I was very proud of joining First Digital about. I think that if you look at the nature of our competitors, they're either invisible or they're very US centric. So for us, we really wanted to stake ourselves as the Asia stablecoin and make an impact to Asian people, right? To make an impact into the populations here, to try to make change and to try to bring usability and optionality into the communities. The Philippines being one of those key geographies that we're very interested in. Hence, again, our relationship with coins.ph. You guys probably have used a stablecoin before, but if you don't know what a stablecoin is, it's a very simple thing. It's a virtual currency, digital asset, if you want, that's pegged to a fiat asset. In our case, it's pegged to the US dollar. So don't mix it up with, there are lots of other tokens out there that call themselves stable coins, but there's probably a handful of real stable coins in the world. And as I mentioned, we're the third largest globally and the only one that's issued out of Asia. So very, very proud of that, very happy about that, and really glad that you guys are coming on the journey with us. I mentioned my background. My history has been around building great teams, building businesses, but always underpinning that, right from the journey I talked about earlier on in the telco world, it's always built of a foundation of partnerships. So our stablecoin can do nothing if it doesn't have an exchange like coins.ph to sit on and be listed on for you to be able to take it and trade it and utilize it, and blockchains, multi-chains, so we can give you as many multi-chain support as possible and make it as accessible as possible. So we'll dig into that a little bit as we go into the usability and the use cases for FDUSD. You can already find us on Ethereum and BNB chain. And we're constantly working towards working with the best, most popular, but also the chains that have use cases that fit our focus. One of those, obviously, is a payments focus, helping bring stable coins into the payments ecosystem. So you'll see us on the likes of Solana. You'll see us already, but more so on companies like Sui over the next few months, which is something we're very excited about. All right, so let's think about how FDUSD can be used for the Filipino community. It's already available on coins.ph. We have an FDUSD PHP pair, and it just makes it perfect for what I was talking about earlier on, which is the remittance angle and cross-border transfers. Those 200,000 people that are living in Hong Kong, they're working alongside I think last time I checked, around 45 to 50 million Filipinos that live outside of the Philippines. That's huge. That's a huge amount of people that are sending money back into the Philippines on a regular basis. It's one of the largest remittance corridors in the world. So we want to be part of that. We want to make that experience easier, faster, cheaper, better for all of those Filipinos that are the heroes, as we call them, sending money back into the Philippines. So again, very, very proud about being part of that and being able to bring, our product into a great platform like coins.ph to help delivery of that. You'll see us over time. I can't promise names right now, but you'll see us popping up on payments apps in the Philippines for you to easily access and pay for things on the ground there as well. So you'll have a good off-ramping solution off the back of FDUSD. We've done some partnerships with companies that fit into some of the other important parts of the Filipino community. Tourism is obviously a huge revenue generator for the government, for the people of the Philippines. It's a huge job giver for Filipinos in the Philippines, and actually Filipinos outside of the Philippines that are working in the travel industry. And we've built a relationship with a company called Traveler that's a really popular travel booking platform that's built off the back of blockchain that uses FDUSD for payments. So, it's another area that you can see FDUSD being available, not only for Filipinos, but especially for companies that have a large percentage of their GDP coming in from tourism. So long may that continue and the beautiful Philippines gets visited by as many people as possible. As I mentioned earlier on, we're backed by super strong partnerships. We want to make sure that the partnerships that we work on actually add value. So, I think there's going to be some questions later on. Maybe we can get into this in a bit more detail. But we've worked with companies like Sui and Solana because of the speed of their blockchains, because of the usability and the interoperability that comes off the back of what they bring. And that's what we want to be part of. You can probably see us over the next 10 years, maybe deployed on the top 20 in the world. But right now, we're really focusing on companies that can deliver efficiency, speed, and optionality, gaming optionality through companies like Sui, meme action, but also payments action through companies like Solana. So you'll see much more of that as we evolve to make FDUSD like an intrinsic part of the global payments network. My dream is to have FDUSD pop up on drop-down boxes and remittance shops just as commonly as you see a standard fiat currency. So imagine a world where Western Union in Hong Kong and Western Union in Philippines has FDUSD on there, and people can quickly move HKD into FDUSD and send it to the Philippines for a quick transaction into PHP, and off you go immediately. So that's something that I think is beautiful, and I would look forward to seeing. What does it mean for you? I guess, you're not just getting a stable coin, right? You're tapping into a product and a tool that is meant for scaling. It's meant to be endemic in everything that you do. I'd love everybody on this call to have access to FDUSD and have it in multiple apps on their phones. And when you're using it without thinking about it, I'd love you to be topping up yours or your kids' games with FDUSD, not, just straight up PHP and paying, fees on the back of that. So, something that we want to build off the back of the feedback we get from the community, the feedback we get from our partners like coins.ph is how to be better. I'm not sitting here suggesting FDUSD is perfect, but we do believe it's the best stablecoin in the world. And we do believe that it's the most fitting stablecoin for expansion into the Philippines. So that's about it, really, as much as I can say very quickly. But, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to getting into a discussion later and hearing what Coach Miranda and the folks from coins.ph have to say.
Devere, thank you so much for your insightful message about stable coins, the use cases, and talking a little bit more about how you see First Digital, as that stable coin from Asia. So Devere, thank you so much, and we'll get back to you a little bit later in time for our Q&A. So now we'll be moving on to a short presentation. So Coach Miranda also has a video that was prepared on what stable coins are about. So I'll be sharing my screen and showing that video about stable coins, and then maybe in a while Coach Miranda can also talk about that video of his and maybe give a little bit of insight as well on how his perception of stable coins has changed and how he sees the use case of stable coins into the future. So allow me to share my screen and play the video for our audience.
ay ginawa to serve as a medium of exchange at hindi lang just store of value. The problem is due to the relatively small small market capitalization, even mga popular crypto cap, mas nagiging throwing a rock into a small na ilog. Now, kunin mo yung same rock na yon at throw it in the ocean. Syempre, yung tinapon mong bato sa ilog ay mas magiging impactful than you throw the same stone in the ocean. So in the same manner, Kamiranda, ngayon, kung ang iyong cryptocurrency ay medyo maliit lang ang crypto market capitalization, magiging very volatile ito comparative sa isang maliit na ilog comparison with the big ocean, no? So imagine mo kung very volatile yung presyo ng Bitcoin, 'di ba? So for example, you're going to be buying a pit ng tubig. Imagine mo yung presyo niya bukas ay mag-iiba na agad because of the volatility of the cryptocurrency. Yung isang trader or isang, sabi natin Kamiranda na bumili ng 2 pizza for 10,000 bitcoins, that was 8 years ago. So imagine mo magkano na ngayon ng value ng 10,000 bitcoins, di ba? So dahil dyan, nagkaroon ng stable coins. No? Simply put, ang mga stable coins is an attempt to create cryptocurrency na hindi ganun ka-volatile. Yung stable coin kasi is nakapeg to the real world currency, also known as fiat currency, tulad ng $1 or Canadian dollar or pwede rin euro, etc. So for example, ang mga stablecoin na kilala natin ngayon is Tether or USDT worth $1, and ito ay ini-expect na magme-maintain ang kanyang peg no matter what. Yung stablecoin kasi nag-aalaw ng convenience of cryptocurrency, which means mas magiging fast yung settlement and fewer regulatory hurdles, along na rin sa stability ng mga fiat currency. Tulad ng maraming coins, Kamiranda, ang pinaka-obvious use case would be for it to be as a use of medium for exchange or payment. Dahil din ito ay very, very stable compared to other cryptocurrency, magagamit pa ito for day-to-day purchases. Pero syempre, hindi naman halos lahat nakakakilala pa rin ng stablecoin, so may mga pagkakataon that no one can accept them as a payment method. So, ang pinakamahalagang gamit ng stablecoin today is actually on cryptocurrency exchanges tulad ng Binance, BingX, etc. Pala, Kamiranda, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click on like and subscribe so you're updated for everything about cryptocurrency, technical analysis, fundamentals, and these types of new knowledge for you in crypto. Maraming salamat. Sa paggamit ng stablecoin, traders can actually trade volatile cryptocurrencies for stable cryptocurrencies. Ibig sabihin, when they want to lower their risk, for example, if I'm invested in Bitcoin and I don't want to risk the price of Bitcoin falling against the dollar, pwede ko na lang exchange yung Bitcoin ko for USDT and retain the dollar value. Once makuha ko na at ako ay gusto na bumalik ulit sa trading game and hold Bitcoins, pwede ko na naman ulit ipagpalit ang aking mga USDT into BTC. Itong method of exchange na ito is very popular with crypto-only exchanges kasi they don't supply their users with an option to exchange Bitcoin for fiat currencies due to regulation. Isa pa sa mga great advantage of stablecoins today is actually you can move funds between exchanges ng mas mabilis since crypto transactions are faster and cheaper than fiat transactions. No? The option for such fast settlement between exchanges can make a more convenient experience sa mga traders na katulad natin at medyo yung price gaps na makikita natin in between Bitcoin or spreads ay may iwasan mo because you're using a stable coin to be able to do your exchanges within the platforms. So for now, ang stable coin, Kamiranda, is more of a utility coin for traders than an actual medium of exchange. Pero paano ba ito naging posible? What keeps the price from the volatility that other cryptocurrencies will experience? Sagutin natin, Kamiranda. May mga iba't ibang mga pagkakataon that a stable coin can actually maintain its peg to a fiat currency. So the first way to maintain a peg is by creating trust that the coin is actually worth what is pegged to. For example, kung ang market ay hindi naniniwala na ang isang USDT is worth $1, people will immediately dump all of the US dollar tether and the price will crash. In order to maintain this trust, yung company should back all of its coins with some sort of an asset. Itong collateral na to is basically a proof that the company is good for its word. And it's actually, the coin should actually be worth equal to the pegged amount or equal doon sa total na cryptocurrency na pinipeg dyan. For example, in Tether's case, each US dollar Tether is said to be backed by an actual dollar DAO that Tether holds as a collateral. A different example naman, Kamiranda, for collateral is yung, for example, yung DGX token na sinasabi nilang backed up by gold daw. Another version of a collateralized stablecoin is one that's actually backed by more cryptocurrencies. Katulad nung Lunsi na nung ito ay bumabagsak, they were actually buying Bitcoin to peg against the price para hindi ito mawalan ng value. Pero syempre nung June of 2022, nagkaroon ng problema ang Luna. Therefore, kahit nilagyan nila ng 2 billion worth of Bitcoin as a peg, bumagsak pa rin ang presyo nito. Another version, kamerada naman, of a collateralized stablecoin is one yung backed up by one or more cryptocurrency. Itong form of a collateral is much more easier to audit since yung company's balance can be viewed on the blockchain. The second way to maintain a peg naman, kamerada, is by manipulating the coin supply on the market, also known as algorithmic peg. Yung algorithmic peg means that the company writes the set of rules, also known as a smart contract, that can increase or decrease the amount of a stable coin in circulation depending on the coin's price. Let me explain, Kamiranda. So imagine meron tayong stable coin that's actually pegged to a US dollar through an algorithmic peg. Assuming natin na maraming tao gustong bumili ng coin na ito, its price would rise and the peg coin will be broken. To prevent this from happening, new coins are issued. This increase in supply can alleviate or tatanggalin ito yung price pressure created by the demand and can maintain the coin value. And if on the other hand, marami naman tao ang bibenta ng coin, kailangan naman tanggalin yung coins from the overall supply para at least ma-hold or ma-peg pa rin to $1. To be clear, Kamiranda, ang algorithmic peg stable coins don't hold any assets as a collateral. Ito ay smart contract that can manage the coin as a central bank. It tries to manipulate then yung price back to the peg by changing yung money supply. May mga pros and cons ito for each pegging method. Yung mga fiat collateral pegs transmit the highest degree of certainty to stablecoin holders na yung coin is indeed worth the asset it is backed by. Pero syempre, fiat collateralized pegs have some major consequences. For example, from a company standpoint, yung asset is frozen and cannot be used for anything else. Merong risk for embezzlement or the closing of the company's bank account, which can ruin the trust to the stablecoin. Another issue, Kamiranda, for the fiat collateralized stablecoin is it's a bit hard to actually prove, Kamiranda, that the company owns enough asset na pwede nilang gamitin in case magkaroon ng bank run. At kailangan nilang gamitin to really back the amount of coins in circulation. Again, si Tether, for example, has suffered severe criticisms and audit requests from skeptics kasi kiniklaim nila na wala naman talagang backup enough money itong si US dollar Tether in case magkaroon ng US dollar Tether run or magkaroon ng massive withdrawals. Yung mga crypto collateralized coins, on the other hand, Kamiranda, may have the benefit of viewing the collateral on the blockchain. Pero the collateral itself naman is extremely volatile. That's why a premium is needed. For example, in many cases, a company will hold or should hold more than 150% or even more of the collateral needed. So in case magkaroon ng possible drop on the cryptocurrency prices, hindi ito basta-basta bibigay. Tandaan natin, algorithmic pegging benefits from the fact that the company doesn't need to hold any asset on hand. However, marami pa rin na mag-argue that algorithmic pegging theory does not really work in real life kasi minamanipulate lang naman ng smart contract yung money supply para mag-guarantee yung peg will hold. With all of the complexities, Kamiranda, in maintaining a stablecoin peg, you might be wondering, ano ba yung incentive to create a stablecoin in the first place? Ano ba yung business model nito? Well, bawat isang kumpanya, there's a different incentive altogether. Some companies can charge a fee for trading the coin and other companies naman can use the stable coin as a means of utility or as a marketing channel to raise awareness that the company and other services it actually is offering. OOB, Gemini, Coinbase, and Circle are actually all exchanges that have created their own stable coins, Kamiranda, in order to attract more users platforms at para mas maging mabilis ang transition of funds within and between exchanges. Let's take a moment, Kamiranda, to go over some of the examples of the more popular stablecoins used today. US dollar Tether or USD Tether, which I've already mentioned kanina, is a fiat collateralized stablecoin that is pegged to the US dollar. The coin was created by the company Tether and has remained relatively stable since the introduction in 2015. Si TUSD naman, not to be confused by USDT, stands for True USD. Ito ay relatively new fiat collateralized stablecoin that attempts to address the criticism directed at Tether. Yung collateral US dollars naman ito are held in the bank accounts of multiple trust companies. Yung bank accounts naman are published every day and are subject to monthly audits. Another example is Gemini USD or GUSD. Ito naman ay fiat collateralized stablecoin issued by the popular exchange Gemini, which was established by the Winklevoss brothers. According to Gemini, si GUSD is the first regulated stablecoin in the world. Ang USDC naman, Cameranda, which stands for USD Coin, is a fiat collateralized stablecoin issued by Circle and Coinbase. And finally, si DAI or DAI is a stablecoin created by MakerDAO. At ito naman ay crypto-collateralized. Marami pa rin criticism going on in about the creation of the stablecoins. Ang pinaka-most common dito is related to the inability of actually maintaining the peg in the long run. Ito ay pwedeng due to any of the reasons I've mentioned kanina, and on top of that, a quick look of the history tells us that all the peg cryptocurrencies are doomed to fail due to the cost of maintaining them, especially when the peg comes under attack. Some of the well-known examples where pegs broken is the Swiss franc peg on euro in 2015, yung Chinese yuan to the US dollar in 2005, yung Thai baht peg to the US dollar in 1997, and the most famous of them all, yung gold standard pegging in the US dollar to gold in 1971. Pero ang pinakamalaking question pa rin is the issue of governance. Stablecoins kasi are considered by many to be centralized due to the fact that there's a company behind them that maintains the peg, whether it's actually algorithmic or collateralized. Therefore, ang mga stablecoins, Cameranda, aren't really cryptocurrencies in the sense that they're actually not decentralized. Another issue is that stablecoins seem to be providing a solution to something that's actually not a growing pain and not a constant problem. Once cryptocurrency, Cameranda, achieve a higher market cap, yung volatility nito ay pwedeng mag-reduce dramatically, and therefore, wala na rin talagang use case ang stablecoins. Tandaan natin, stablecoins are actually trying to get to the best of both worlds. Yung stability of an established currency with a large market and the flexibility of a decentralized free-for-all cryptocurrency. The problem pa rin kasi is that they also get the worst of both worlds. Yung centralized coin with a sort of central bank controlling it and a questionable ability to maintain the public trust in it. Finally, there's a question of regulation. Allow ba ng regulators to create an asset that mimics legal tender without any oversight? For example, for such an issue is Basis, an algorithmically pegged stablecoin na nakapag-raise ng 130 million for its project just to shut down due to regulatory issues not so long ago. It seems, Camerada, that stablecoins are actually some sort of a temporary utility for exchanges, allowing traders to haven out of volatility without the need to supply them with regulated fiat option. In the long run, it's hard to be sure how or whether these coins will have a place in the crypto ecosystem, especially with so many questions marks surrounding them. Pero for today's episode, Miranda, hopefully naunawaan mo kung ano ba ang stablecoins and how do they work. Ito ay type ng cryptocurrency that's actually pegged to the value of a less volatile asset, usually the US dollar. Pwedeng may mga tanong ka mo din, so if you still do have, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you're actually watching my video here on YouTube, please enjoy what you have seen so far. And of course, don't forget to click on the like button to make sure as well you also subscribe in our channel. Maraming salamat, Miranda, and I love you 3,000!
All right, so that was a great video, that will stand the test of time. So, Coach Miranda, I'd actually like to bring you up here on stage, and maybe you can discuss a little bit more about, what you think about stablecoins moving forward into, this coming cycle and how it's being, implemented. Like, how have you seen stablecoins become more adopted, whether it's here in the Philippines or, even in other countries in the world? Oh, Coach, sorry, I think you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Jaffa. Yeah, first and foremost, thank you very much, coins.ph, for inviting me here and my community. It's such a pleasure as always, coins.ph. As you know that I'm a heavy user of coins.ph myself, and I really appreciate you guys. And of course, awesome presentation from Devere earlier. And thank you for allowing me to present a neutral look on stablecoin on a 13-minute video, which was created a year back. I would say that the market has learned, and the good news is that the market on many cycles in the past have made us realize a lot of aha moments in terms of understanding what types of stable coins do we really hold on into? I think the lessons in the past made us realize that there's always going to be risks. However, as I always say in my community, if there's no risk, there's no story. The good news for me is that I always have a bias for stable coins, obviously because significant volatility is the nature of cryptocurrency. At the end of the day, I need to take on and take partial profits in my positions. Therefore, I need to convert my crypto into stable coins. And in my system, whenever it's a bull run, 70% of exposure is when I exposed my capital to buying crypto, and 30% remains to be stable coins. So at least my community will always have extra liquid money to buy on coins that they need to ride into. The problem is if you are overly exposed on cryptocurrency and you have no stable coins, it creates issues on diversification, and you risk on having FOMO because you just buy cryptocurrency, and whenever there is a coin that rallies, you're forced to sell your existing positions even at a loss just to be FOMOed on another position. Therefore, my recommendation in my system is it needs to be a well-diversified portfolio. As I've said, if it's a bull run, 70% position on cryptocurrency, 30% remains on stable coins. And I think I kind of wrap it up by saying that the video is already telling you everything about history, use cases, etc. One thing that I'm very excited about in crypto is that we are evolving as an industry. We learn from our past and we continue to evolve. And with that evolution comes education. And as I've said, thank you, coins.ph, for allowing us to educate our community what stablecoin is all about. Thank you.
Coach Miranda, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, that portfolio balance is so important, and stable coins are an amazing way to really, I guess, have exposure to crypto. But when you're risk off and you're able to store value digitally, it does allow a lot of access to these markets for Filipinos and for people who want to start trading crypto. So, Coach Miranda, thank you. Next, we will be having up on stage the coins.ph Business Development Director. Well, here we will be presenting, how can stablecoins like FDUSD contribute to the future of finance? So I'd like to bring up on stage Ralph Idio. Ralph, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And I guess before I start, thanks to Coach Miranda for a very comprehensive video about stablecoins. That's very informative and very, very important to know for anyone who's wanting to enter crypto right now. I also want to thank Devier, one of the closest partners we have at coins.ph. And yeah, very informative background on FDUSD. Now that everyone has a background of stablecoins and FDUSD, what I'll be doing is basically try to tie those in together and see how can stable coins disrupt or revolutionize the existing financial industry we have now. But I guess before I start there, allow me to maybe share a quick side story. Whenever users or people want to enter crypto or Bitcoin, they usually do it for gains, speculation, earning a lot of money. But actually, that is only a byproduct of crypto. Crypto is much more than that. And I truly believe that stablecoin is one of the most important innovation that crypto has enabled. And to dive more details there, I'll be talking about this presentation on how can stablecoins like FDUSD in particular can contribute to the future of finance. So as a background, stablecoin, as Coach Miranda said earlier, it's a digital currency and it's pegged to a monetary value. In the case of USD stablecoins, they're pegged to the US dollar. There are three key players in the USD stablecoin scene. That would be First Digital USD or FDUSD, and Tether and Circle. The main use cases for stablecoin is that they're accessible. You can easily buy it using local currency. Once you have it, you can use it for trading. And once you have a stablecoin, you can use it for fast transactions, and also stablecoins are pegged to a monetary value, so the price is stable as well. But the next question is, okay, now that we know what a stable coin is, how can we actually use it? And there are a few things that make stablecoins very, very important and revolutionary, especially if you compare it to traditional finance. Number one, stablecoins serve as a store of value, especially for USD stablecoins, for example. They're pegged against the US dollar, which is one of the strongest currency out there. And yeah, I think right now pesos trading at around 58 pesos to $1. So if you held your holdings in US dollar, you're very much protected from inflation and basically peso depreciation. Another use case for stablecoin is you can actually use it to trade assets. And the assets here, I would mean two things. One, crypto. You can trade various crypto using stable coins. There are a lot of FDUSD pairs out there. And at the same time, real world use cases. For example, some merchants in the Philippines and in other countries in the world are already accepting stable coins as a form of payment. So whether it be you're buying something from, say, the US, the Europe, and some merchants from there are actually already accepting stable coins as a means of payment. Another use case related to that is that you can transfer money at low cost using stable coins. For example, I'm not sure how many of us here have already tried doing a cross-border transfer, but the cost of doing an international cross-border transfer can take as much as 10 USD and above. And with the power of stable coins, that the cost that you'll only incur is the gas fee, and which can be very negligible depending on the network you choose. It can be as low as 0.01 cents or a few Philippine centavos to and yeah, comparing that to 10 USD bank fee, that's way smaller than our traditional banking rails. Next slide, please. And again, just to reiterate that fact, traditional payments right now are very slow and expensive. And this is very important because around 10% of the Philippines GDP is attributed to remittances. So we send a lot of money, we receive a lot of money from all over the world. But the cost of these transfers is actually very high. It ranges for around 3 to 10%. And at the same time, it takes about 1 to 5 days, and it could even take a couple of weeks, depending if the funds are stuck in an intermediary bank, if additional information is needed, etc. And I think that needs to be changed, and that's where stable coins come in. Stable coins, the cost of transfer very negligible. The length of transfer, it can happen within a few seconds or a minute. And I guess to highlight a particular stable coin today, we'll talk about FDUSD. So FDUSD is one of the more recently launched stable coins out there. It was launched back in 2023, so only available for about 2 years. But in that 2 years, they managed to be the third largest stable coin in the world. FDUSD was issued by First Digital Labs, a financial services company in Hong Kong. And what differentiates FDUSD from other stable coins out there is that since it's based in Hong Kong, it has reduced exposure to US banking regulations and financial risk. So people would generally gravitate towards FDUSD if they want less exposure to the US financial system while still maintaining access to the US dollar. In terms of backing and security, FDUSD is one of the most transparent stablecoin out there. It provides monthly attestation reports, it gives audits, it also shows proof of reserves to ensure that the FDUSD, whatever FDUSD you're holding, it's supported by cash equivalents pegged to the US dollar. Then lastly, FDUSD is available in multiple chains already. It's available in Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and the more recent blockchains would be Sui, as well as Solana. These are the more popular networks here in the Philippines. So it's nice that FDUSD it will already be available in those blockchains. So what are the key features of FDUSD? Number one, as I mentioned earlier, it's a store of value. You get access to the US dollar from anywhere in the world, especially now that FDUSD is listed at Coins. If you want to be protected from any depreciation or a local currency, FDUSD is one way to do that. And at the same time, since there are a lot of USD remittances coming towards the Philippines, if you have family members that sends you remittances on a monthly basis, they can now do this via FDUSD. And that's only the beginning. So you can use FDUSD for OFW remittances. If you're a freelance worker, you receive your payment in USD. You can now accept payment in FDUSD. It's cheaper. You don't have to pay you don't have to pay outrageous fees, and at the same time, the exchange rate of FDUSD to peso is very competitive. Another key feature I wanted to highlight is that it's transparent. It's fully backed by USD assets, both cash and cash equivalents, and it's strictly audited and very, very transparent in terms of what assets are backing FDUSD. Then lastly, in terms of technology, FDUSD is rapidly expanding the number of chains it is supported in. When it was initially launched, it was mainly BSC and Ethereum. Now we're seeing expansion into SUI and Solana. So very much looking forward to the other chains that FDUSD will be expanding to. Then lastly, what's the market position of FDUSD right now and the future outlook, given that there are other stablecoin players out there? Number one, FDUSD serves as an alternative for non-US markets. USDT and USDC, most of the reserves are held in the US financial system. FDUSD is headquartered in Hong Kong, and thus you have reduced regulatory exposure to US, and that's what makes FDUSD particularly appealing to Asian and global markets. Number two, given the monthly audits, transparent backing, and support across various blockchains for FDUSD, FDUSD is well positioned to be a credible and secure stablecoin with very positive growth potential. Then lastly, as the adoption of crypto in Asia rises, secure assets such as FDUSD could definitely become a major competitors to other stablecoin players out there, especially within non-US jurisdictions. So in short, stablecoins can be used for OFW remittances. If you're a freelancer, you can receive payments in stablecoin, and if you need to make payments to other parts of the world, you can use a stablecoin. And FDUSD out there, similar to the other stablecoins, FDUSD is very credible, secure, and at the same time allows you to get reduced exposure to the US financial system. I'll end my talk there. Happy to take any questions, but I truly believe that the most important innovation of crypto is stablecoin more than just speculation. Thank you.
Ralph, thank you so much for presenting the the use cases of FDUSD to our audience. I mean, I agree that stablecoins are going to be really important in the upcoming years, since a lot of Filipinos especially are unbanked, but they have access to the internet. And when they have access to the internet, they have access to cryptocurrencies, and included in those cryptocurrencies, are stablecoins and other coins as well. So thank you, Ralph, for that talk. I guess I'd like to bring up, back on stage, Devere, Ralph, and maybe Coach Miranda as well. Maybe we can take some questions that are planted and also some questions from the community. Just, a quick round robin so that we can also engage our community with questions for taking the time to show up for the stream tonight, and to listen in and tune into some of the use cases of FDUSD and stable coins for transfers, remittances, and other financial transactions. So maybe the order for our question and answer can be maybe Devere can go first, followed by Coach Miranda, and then Ralph. Just a very concise, quick answer for the questions that will be flashed on screen. So I guess to our viewers, if your question is chosen, please do open a ticket in our Discord where we will be giving you 500 pesos in FDUSD straight to your Coins verified wallet. Just don't forget to send your coins.ph verified phone and email number. All right. So for our first community question, this one actually comes from MJ Dia on our Discord. So the question is, so what benefits does FDUSD offer to Filipinos looking to secure their savings in a stable digital format? So maybe I guess maybe on screen it's actually Ralph to my right here on the screen. So Ralph, and then going down Devere, and then Coach Miranda. Maybe you can give your input. So maybe Ralph, real quick, what benefits does FDUSD offer to Filipinos looking to secure their savings in a digital format? Ralph?
I'll keep it simple. When the year started, peso to USD was around 52, 53. Now peso to USD is around 58. If you held your savings in FDUSD, you would not be exposed to that depreciation in local currency. I'll keep it simple there. That's my simple answer to this question.
Ralph, thank you. Devere, how about you?
No, I think Ralph really nailed it. Right, I mentioned at the beginning that I live in Hong Kong, and you could actually think of the Hong Kong dollar as being, one of the first ever stable coins. It's pegged to the US dollar, so it doesn't have any fluctuation happening there. So we weren't exposed to that organically. The Filipino people living in the Philippines are not, they don't have that benefit. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. It's a problem. I think the other thing would just be accessibility, securing your savings. If you're looking at a country where there's 68% of the population, on land that are unbanked, and then you've got 15 million people outside that are also struggling to find bank accounts, then being able to even access something that can give you savings is a big win, and stablecoins, give you the ability to find that solution.
Devere, thank you. Coach, how about you? What benefits do you see most for the Filipinos?
I think I also want to pick up from what Devere and what you guys have mentioned. So I think accessibility is important for me, especially I'm a cryptocurrency trader. I don't want to go 10 steps just to have access to my money. You know what I mean? And have, multiple, because again, I also came from a customer service background. Any customer effort means customer dissatisfaction for me. So lessening customer effort, making it easier for our Filipino communities wherever they are, especially my viewers are all around the world. We have Filipinos, Camiranda all over the world. It's easier to obviously, have an access in and out, of your wallet. So I think that's my answer. Yeah.
All right.
I was going to say there, Coach, it's like removing friction.
Right. Exactly.
As much as you can do that, the best your life's going to be.
You're right. That's right.
Coach Devere, thank you for your insights, and Ralph as well. For our second community question, so this comes from our Discord as well. So this one is from Hisakid, and they ask, how can stable coins like FDUSD be integrated into existing business models and payment systems? So maybe we can go again the same order, Ralph, Devere, and then Coach.
Sure. This is a very nice question. We get this a lot. A lot of banks also have been inquiring about stable coins recently. They want their skin in the game. They want to be part of the action. Given that we'll probably get more open regulations towards crypto, given the changes in the US political scene. So definitely seeing a lot of interest integrating stable coins into existing business models and payment systems. So how can that be done? One, given the availability of on-ramp or off-ramps, or let's simplify it, local currency to crypto or crypto to local currency providers, people can directly buy and sell FDUSD and other stable coins wherever they are in the world. And if you're able to easily convert from crypto to fiat and vice versa, you can now begin accepting payments and even making collections, accepting payments and sending, accepting and sending payments across the world using stable coins. You don't have to use the current Swift functionality used by banks. You can use stable coins, choose whatever blockchain network you want, and that makes your business actually stronger. You can accept payments, say from if you're selling a product, e-commerce, and your product is in high demand in other countries, you can now sell to them, accept their payments using a stable coin without being restricted by the current banking system. I'll end my answer with that.
Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, maybe Devere, how about you? How do you see FDUSD being, integrated into business models and payment systems, especially over the next, couple of years?
I think an obvious one for me is just to integrate stablecoins and hopefully FDUSD into the payroll infrastructure. So, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, giving those guys the optionality to choose FDUSD to pay their employees, right? So if you get it paid to you into a wallet, and you don't necessarily even need a bank account, right? If you can get paid from tech to tech in USD and FDUSD, then you can you can skip a step. And as I mentioned earlier on, was talking to Coach, remove some friction and some concern. So it can be a selling point for the companies. They can say, hey, we've got optionality. You don't need to just get paid in fiat peso. You can get paid in a blend of some peso, some stablecoin, or you can choose all stablecoin, especially in places where things like healthcare and insurance, pensions are not built in. Giving people the option to then trade or to invest themselves off the back of a USD stablecoin is very powerful. And I think it's actually going to be something that the next generation is going to require. So we have to have that in place.
Thank you, Devere. And you, Coach Miranda, how do you see FDUSD and other stablecoins being integrated into businesses?
One of this story that I just wanted to always mention whenever I'm asked this question is, if you remember, sometime 2021, there was a mayor in the United States who agreed to receive salary using Bitcoin. You would imagine Bitcoin back then was $64,000 on April of 2021. And the price of Bitcoin went down to 27,000 months after. Went up again, 69,000 on November, only to go down $15,000 in June of 2022. So you would imagine the volatility if you use payroll using crypto, right? Although obviously, technically, Bitcoin stands all-time high at this point. It would have been a totally different story if it's going to be way back 2022 and it's a bear cycle, right? So I think, therefore, entrance stablecoins. This is one of the best differentiator of stablecoins. Obviously, it retains its peg into a particular fiat currency. One thing that many of you don't know, I used to work with a biggest money remittance company in the whole world. Letter M, I'll not mention their name. I used to be a director for operations supporting that particular campaign. 70% of transactions using fiat currency from someone who lives in the US and a Filipina who lives in the Philippines, that automatically gets blocked. There's a lot of regulatory concerns, etc. I would say from a business model perspective, it creates ease of fund transfers. It resolves emergent needs of Filipinos who need access to funds. Vis-a-vis traditional remittance payment systems, payroll models like what Diviras mentioned and Ralph has mentioned earlier, and incentive systems. In my own company today, I use stablecoin as an incentive mechanism, and it creates a sense of belongingness to the cryptocurrency, and it stays true to me in a culture, in an ethos perspective to use and put my money where my mouth is, especially for stablecoins. So I would say it presents massive opportunities, especially for integration. Um, I mean, irregardless of what stablecoin it is, we just need to make sure that we understand, obviously the intention and the use case of stablecoin. So that's my answer there.
All right, Coach Miranda, thank you so much. And thank you to He's a Kid for that answer. I guess we have one more question from our Discord, and then maybe we can have one last question after that. So the question from our Discord comes from user A Logical Wizard. They ask, so Ralph, Devere, Coach M, how do you see stablecoins in 3 to 5 years in terms of usage and adoption? And 3 to 5 years is a very long time in crypto. So, Ralph, take it away. Maybe how do you see stable coins 3 to 5 years from now?
Stable coins definitely here to stay, here to gain more market cap. I think like the entire crypto market cap will grow into the trillions, and a good chunk of that market cap will come from stable coins, and a good chunk will come from banks wanting to issue their own stablecoin, banks as well as local governments. So we'll probably have CBDCs or central bank digital currencies. Um, Adoption usage wise, more and more businesses will be using stable coins in a regulatory compliant way. There's going to be clear regulation about the usage, incentivizing people and businesses to actually try it out without the fear of any regulation. Yeah, that's my answer.
Ralph, thank you so much. Devere, how do you see stable coins, evolving in terms of adoption and usage, maybe 3 to 5 years from now? Maybe Devere is having maybe some technical difficulties. So maybe Coach M, how about you? How do you see stable coins 3 to 5 years from now?
Sure. Guys, I made an article in many broadsheets. I think one is published in Philippine Star. I created, just to kind of piggyback to what Ralph has mentioned, I made an article about CBDCs and why should Filipinos care about CBDCs and obviously stable coins for the most part. One of the use cases I mentioned there is that, still in the Philippines, an average of 44% still of the Filipinos remain unbanked. So we're still within that, it is an improvement coming from, almost a 50% back then. It's almost a toss coin that, for two Filipino, one is unbacked, right? So it's improving around 44% on the data that I received a few months ago. It is an improvement. However, it is still an opportunity, right? And obviously with almost all commodities and goods are being purchased today over digital money, integration of cryptocurrency in our everyday lives. What's the common denominator from all of the fiat and crypto is obviously stable coins. And our ability to be able to store and have an idea that you could store it in a wallet ready to convert anytime. And by the way, you earn perks out of holding it. And then our ability to make an event in someone else's life that they can create sort of a payment account without necessarily banked as an alternative option is something that can ripple to any one of us throughout the many months to come. The promise of digitalization is already out there. We're in the middle of it. And as we kind of navigate this digital world, the intersection between cryptocurrency and fiat currency is always going to be, for me, a stable coin. And if you don't have a stable coin yet, Camiranda, we need to have one right now, as in right now. It's an important means of you trying to access, the ability to trade, because we are a trading community in my community, and be able to convert that into fiat currency. And from what I'm hearing on this conversation, FDUSD presents a lot of opportunities for us to secure and have access to our funds and obviously earn perks out of holding it. So, thank you for allowing me to answer that question. It goes back to always my purpose. Let's embrace cryptocurrency, and by embracing it means understanding many of its pillars. One of that is stablecoin. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Yep. And Devere, I guess you might have disconnected for a while, but how do you see stable coins, like First Digital USD in 3 to 5 years, in terms of usage and adoption?
Yeah, thanks. I don't know what happened there. It just decided to just completely stop as soon as we hit 1 hour. So maybe it's telling me something. Or it may have been because Ralph mentioned the word regulation. But that's going to be the key, actually. I think the regulation that happens is going to drive the cream to the top of the glass. And I believe that we're part of that, right? Our structure is perfectly set up for solid regulation, even the US regulation. If you read it and you look at the way, if you go through what Ralph was talking about, the attestation reports, the structure that we have, never blending client money and company money, all that stuff is ready for good regulation, whether it's in Hong Kong, whether it's wherever in the world. So we'll be here, we'll be bigger. I also agree with what Ralph said. I think that we'll be at least 20x, I would say, by 5 years when it comes to adoption and utilization of stable coins today. And I hope that First Digital is, right up there, in the top 2, 3 still, fighting the good cause, being ready to remove friction and doing the best work of our lives. So yeah, I don't see it going anywhere. I do think that the stablecoin regulation, though, will create clarity between what is a stablecoin and what is a synthetic security. That's going to be something that really needs, and actually, our coach mentioned some of that in his video earlier on. There's a difference between what is a proper pegged stablecoin to do all the good things we've talked about earlier on and what's speculative security, which is not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. And I think we'll see those two things really different, separated out, so people have clarity and choice moving forward. So look at us sitting in, the plus $100 billion kind of market cap spot in 3 to 5 years for sure.
All right, Devere, thank you so much. And to Logical Wizard who asked that question, thank you very much. I think, unfortunately, that is all the time we have. We are, as Devere mentioned, going over an hour, but it's been a really insightful session, and there is a lot of viewers in the crowd tonight. Thank you so much for coming out and being willing to learn more about how stable coins are going to impact our financial industry. Especially for Filipinos who are in bank, business owners, payroll, and other use cases that are going to be brought in through stable coins such as First Digital USD. I guess I'd like to just get one last round of closing remarks from all of our speakers, just to cap off our live stream for tonight. So maybe we can have Devere and then Coach Miranda and then Ralph. Devere, maybe how would you like to maybe say thank you to the COINMUNITY for showing up tonight, and just some closing words for the audience who came out.
Great. No, thank you so much for inviting me. We're so excited and happy to be part of the COINMUNITY. I think my closing remarks would be to, listen to smart people like Coach, listen to companies like coins.ph. They're there to help you. Use good products, be careful, but, enjoy what's coming up. I think we've got, a solid 6 to 18 months ahead of us here where things are going to be on the up. So embrace it. You're in the right spot. If you're listening to this, you're probably doing the right thing. Already. So keep doing stuff like this, and we look forward to being part of your journey.
Thanks, Devere. Coach, maybe some last words for the community.
Sure. Today, Bitcoin stands $82,000 worth of FDUSD. The success of this particular stablecoin depends on a well-informed acceptance. For this, it's vital that we as a community, businesses, individuals, and policymakers have a comprehensive grasp of the features, advantages, and disadvantages of a stablecoin. I understand that, and I believe that this understanding collectively as a community can foster trust and promote wise use of the stablecoin. On that said, maraming salamat po kay Miranda and coins.ph and FDUSD, Devere, and Ralph, and salamat po.
Coach Miranda, thank you. Ralph, some closing words for the audience. Ralph, you're on mute, sorry.
Sure. Okay, one, there is more to crypto than just speculation. I think stablecoin is the most important innovation in crypto. And as they say, you need to choose your coins wisely, but you also need to choose your stable coins equally wisely. So yeah, I'll keep it short.
Ralph, thank you. And thank you, Devere, Coach Miranda, and Ralph for taking the time to show up for the COINMUNITY and for all of the curious tonight. With that, Yeah, we'll see you guys soon, for more workshops and for Community Wednesday later this week. And yeah, take care and enjoy, the all-time high fever of Bitcoin and the upcoming months in this market. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
The Philippines' first and leading crypto exchange, coins.ph. 60 cryptocurrencies to trade, like Bitcoin, USDT, and more. Enjoy low fees, favorable rates, and a smooth cash in and out experience. Download coins.ph now.